Oh. Hello, we are starting slowly. So, here we are, slowly start to appear again, live. Hello Ruben, hello everybody who's joining. It's so nice to see you. Today it's me, Alexey, director of Chrysalid Gallery. Hello everyone, hello Israel. So as usually, I'm always asking you to write where you're from. Hello Rima, hello everyone. So just write where you're from, UK, Israel, I know, maybe Netherlands already watching us. So always enjoy to see the geography of our followers. So today is week number 8 and we already, doesn't mean that we are 8 weeks in fucking Corona quarantine, and actually thanks to Corona we started these live sessions to communicate with you, our followers. So stay with us. Stay watching our Sunday live, which became the idea of Corona. So we were locked down and we couldn't speak with you on the gallery or any other our activities. So we started to make our Sunday lives, and already 8 weeks at 1 o'clock Sunday European time, Central European time, we are making these live sessions. The point of these sessions is to communicate with you, to update about the gallery, to have your questions, which we always ask you to ask us. Yeah, so so feel free. It's a communication, and we are talking about the gallery, about your practices, about your ideas, about our ideas, and how gallery and artist and all the external world are functioning together. So just not to give you a wrong impression, I'm not alone. I'm only the director of Chrysalid Gallery, or Raw Street Photo Gallery in the past. So, and after 4 years, we have decided to change the name to embrace a much larger audience, a much more complicated form of arts that we started to work. And we have decided to shift our brand to a new one, and we renamed ourselves to Chrysalid Gallery, which means cocoon or chrysalis in English. So we are kind of transforming. So I think it's our intermediate stage of development of the gallery, and maybe in 5-6 years it will be a new change to a new type and the new activities that we already foreseen for the future. Like, I'm not going to tell you. It will stay in 5 years, otherwise it's rumor spreading. So the gallery is me, who is directing the gallery. You met already Martina. She was doing excellent live sessions with you last 2 weeks. But we have also Anton Skuchaka in Instagram, who is doing our identity, our logos, and our all design of the gallery. And also we have Tatiana, who is Tatiana van Shifman, who is running social media in Instagram. So she's our social media moderator. And we have Bruno, who is gallery assistant. So we are 5 persons, as I have mentioned. So it's kind of a lot, and we're all working together to produce a fascinating gallery. So what else? What else I should talk? So Martina was talking last week about her curatorial work and how he is approaching this. And as you feel, I'm gallery director, so I'm speaking more about the gallery and how gallery works. So last week we had a question how an independent artist can start making money independently without a gallery. So that's actually the question which I probably wants to cover today. I'm just like always writing, asking you just write your questions. No, this is live. So write your questions. Feel free to communicate, because that's the point of live sessions, that we can all talk and communicate together. Last week we were talking about Raw Contest, and after 2 months it's over. So we had 6 or 7 applications. Next week, Martina and me, we're going to announce and make a big surprise for you about the Raw Contest as the first winner, with whom we are going to work and make the exhibitions. And also we're going to announce the second subject, the second theme for the Rock Contest. And as I said, the winner of the Rock Contest will be exhibited at Rotterdam Photo Festival in 2021, which is going to take part 4 to 7 of February. This year, they're going to be at Museum Plein, just really in the city center. So they are relocating towards a central stage of Rotterdam Art Week. So us, the gallery, meanwhile, we are developing. If you go to our website, you can see our first online exhibition, which we done together with Photo Basel. This features two artists. One artist we represent is Lisandro Surreal, and the second artist is guest artist Rabin Hausen. So talking together with Photo Basel, we have decided to make an online exhibition because the actual fair was postponed to September. But not to waste 1 month, we decided to make online show. So go to our first online exhibition. I'm really want to know your feedback and your experience of this online platform, because we are considering to work there on a permanent base, to work online exhibitions. So please watch our website, go directly to the online show, and I really wanted to know your experience. So hello everyone who is joining. Stay with us, ask questions about art, about photography, about your practices, what you know about the gallery. Here am I to answer. So as I mentioned, we are the gallery, we are 5, and last days while preparing for this live show, I was reading a few books, and it came to me an idea actually that we never covered, as it sounds obvious, but following the questions that we are receiving from you, the guys, our audience, sometimes it's not obvious actually what is the purpose of the gallery. So, not speaking about Chrysalid Gallery, but if talking about the general, what is the communication between how this world functions, that there are artists, there are galleries, and there are museums, fairs, and all this big stuff. So actually it's becoming very interesting that the artist itself is producing the artwork. Yeah, guys, you are photographing, working in your media, you're making sculpture, you're making painting, you're making films, you're making video. And somehow you are showing it, for example, in Instagram only, or on your website. And then there is a gallery coming, I like it, I think it's something interesting. Like, for example, we sometimes do it. And this moment when artist and the gallery start to work together, the piece of art that artists have produced, is changing its physical state to something more institutionalized, because the gallery is showing it. So not artist is showing on pop-up show, it's not a festival, it's a gallery who chose an artist out of millions and millions of artists on this planet to make an exhibition. And it speaks with particular audience, and it speaks with the press and with the media, and in this moment somehow the artwork is becoming not just a pure picture, for example, photography, that has all artistic values, but is becoming more integrated into society language, if you want, and that's where the gallery starts to play. So how to position the artwork that the gallery believes speaks an important subject of the current times, of contemporary art, and then it puts into the contemporary dialogue with an audience, not like fans, but like with the audience of the gallery, or audience of the press that gallery is working with, or with the museums the gallery is working with. So in this moment, the artwork actually is changing its state, not just being an artwork, but somehow integrated into society. It starts to happen this magic when the artwork becoming acknowledged as an art. Yeah, not on a piece of work that you have done beautifully, or like design object, but it's becoming like heritage, or for example, Western arts, you know. So it's like becoming acknowledged by the audience, which actually gallery is bringing. Or later when the gallery goes to the fair or starts to work with a museum, so these artworks that the gallery is bringing is becoming to be considered as an art, while artists working on the art object, nothing to be mean about this, yeah, like working about art object, it's missing this recognition by society. So just it's not recognized yet as an art as it is, so it just artwork just to be recognized. So actually that's a very complicated, and maybe I didn't choose proper words because that's what I'm thinking for the last few weeks about this role, me as a gallery director, what actually my job is about. It's not only that I'm selling the artworks, you know, it's not only that I'm making the beautiful shows and I'm working with the talented artists and I'm having fun. Actually, the gallery starts to have certain responsibility towards the artist. I have been asked for a few art fairs. You have this in a Smart Love. Art fairs will come a bit later. So when it comes to the artist and the gallery starts to work together, that was my friend was calling wrong time. So in this particular moment, the artwork is somehow started to get institutionalized. And then, for example, when the gallery works with an art fair, yes, the artwork is really changing its status because it speaks with public, and public say, yeah, that's really an art. And that's becoming really important kind of chemical things which is difficult to express with the words. That's actually the dance that gallery and artists are start to do together, because artists, especially any artist, wants to bring his works front or to be recognized as an artist and to have its works in museums and collections and blah blah blah. Sometimes it's not possible to do it straightforward. So artists, when it works independently without a gallery, there are festivals where the galleries are not admitted, so it's only like Arles, yeah, for Rencontre Photographique of Arles, for example, where the artists working without galleries most of the time, or a few other festivals. So it's never called a fair, it's called a festival in this case. And then, yeah, that's actually coming to an end. So now there are a few nice ad platforms where the artist can sell its works independently. So if you go to Google, I'm not going to promote it, their names. So if you go to Google and you make a search selling artworks, so it will give like few platforms like which purely gallery dedicated, like Artsy or Gallery Viewer, but it can be also some other platforms which are purely dedicated for the artist. And in this case, I don't know, I think they're commission based, so when you're selling the work through this platform, they just take some percentage. So, and that's up to you to decide what you want and how you can sell. Or also you can sell your works in Amazon, you know, some few artists are doing it. In this case, when you go into such ad platforms, it's becoming more a design object. So if you are ready for that your artwork is seen more like an object of design, that's fine, that's you to decide. But when you're working with a gallery and that's becoming kind of a frame, so in our case of Chrysalid Gallery, what we want to work with experimental art, which is still not yet recognized by the artist. So we want experimental statement-based artists with whom we can actually make this complicated like lab, making a lab of art and contemporary ideas, and go into the art fairs, bringing this complicated, unknown artist to the audience. We, together with an artist, working to make us and them recognized as the heritage of art, art as a Western, non-Western art. So it's becoming this interesting chemistry. And so that's actually about importance of the galleries. So when the artist wants to grow in representation of recognition and going from young artist to emerging artist and to be established artist at the end. Yeah, if you recognize like as young artist, it doesn't mean that you are 15 years old. It means that you are just starting and you don't represent it by gallery. You have few half professional shows. You never been on the art fairs. No publications. That you are really young. You are starting. You're exploring your media, how to be positioned in the market. Next level is like when you know already what you're doing. You have your statement. You have your CVs. You know exactly what you're doing. That was Martina was talking about the previous live shows. And then, you start working with the gallery, you go to the art fairs, and actually that's you becoming more established because you are becoming recognized by the audience, Usually, like us, like a Chrysalid Gallery, for next year, we planned 5 international art fairs of very high level, like Photo Basel, Unseen, Artissima in Italy, in Torino. We are planning, Art Rotterdam, Unseen in Amsterdam in September, in October. So there are many fairs, and then actually collectors and museums, professional audience, collectors, they start to recognize the gallery and the artist is showing, and slowly it's built like, okay, I see him, the artist, I saw this gallery, I saw him, it's interesting the subject this artist is talking, there's interesting what the gallery is doing together with this artist, and they start to publish you, and you are becoming more, you are becoming more established, and when you are actually really established, so like Jeff Koons, for example, everybody know who is Jeff Koons. So that's, you are becoming like, okay, you are really an artist. You are, whenever, Jeff Koons can make whenever shit he can do, he can make, I'm not going to tell what he can do, but whenever he is producing, is considered as art, and not because he's saying it's art, but it's actually the audience recognizes whenever he's doing as piece of art and heritage of all the artistic history of 5-6 millennia. So that's actually how gallery works, and that's very important, this connection between gallery artist and for example art fairs. Speaking about museums, it's very interesting subject. There are private museums and private collections, because some collectors have such big collections, like Belair Foundation in Switzerland, in Basel, which I really love. And if you are there, I totally recommend you. It was one of the most art-stunning experience I've ever had in my life. So I really recommend you to go there and to see this private collection. Or Verlinden Museum in the Netherlands, it's also a private collection. But for example, when you go to not a private collection, but the state-owned museums, it becomes, because museums doesn't depend on the audience, they more depend on politicians, because they depend on Minister of Culture, they depend on the budgets, so they're more interested in more, not maybe experimental art, but more established art, and more pro-governmental way of seeing the world, and it's becoming sort of propaganda. So that's interesting. For example, when you see big museums like Louvre, quality of art is showing is really fantastic, but their message is, look how French art is great, what is a French history. So if you want to be in this environment, so that's kind of, how big it should be, maybe like a Jeff Koons it is. But then, then not every museum invites him because, for example, it can be, for example, a bit anti-French or anti, Ai Weiwei can be anti-Chinese. So when we invite Ai Weiwei to some museum, so this government actually makes a statement, we are against this, we are for freedom, and it's becoming very politically engaged, and not many museums actually can do it. And being in a collection of museum, that your work can be played around this. So be careful. Selecting the art fairs for the artist, independent artists, most of the art fairs don't accept it. So if you want to go to really prestigious art fairs, as an artist, you should go with the gallery. You can find the gallery and be a guest artist. Like sometimes we start like with Rabin Hausen, that we are going to Photo Basel. He is a guest artist. He is not represented by Chrysalid Gallery. But for example, we are applying for Unseen and we're going with only represented artist, for example. So that's unfortunately to go to prestigious art fairs like for Paris Photo or FIAC, like in France, or Unseen, Art Rotterdam, Kunstrai in the Netherlands, or Art Cologne in Germany, or whenever Artissima, for example, in Italy, or like Miami fairs, all this Scope and Voltas, all around the world, they're all gallery based. So most of them, artists independently can't exhibit. You can apply. That your application costs money, so feel free. If you have a lot of money, I'm not stopping you, but be ready to receive no, because that's not how the market functions. So it can be exception in sense if the art fair invites you. They contact you and say, listen, we want to make an independent stage for independent artists and we want you to show your artworks there. So in this case, it's fine, but it's only by invitation, as I know. So it's never that you apply and then you propose. So it's how to be invited by the art fair. Well, I'm not going to tell you this kind of secrets and tricks. But mostly it's about networking and talking and to be in the press and to be seen and, being talked, that people are talking about the artist or, these themes. So that's how usually the artists can access the art fairs. But as I said, there are festivals, and some of them are very prestigious, like in Arles, Rencontre Photographique of Arles in France, which takes place in Avignon. This year it was cancelled because of Corona, but next year it will be again. So feel free to apply to work. You have 1 year to do it. It's a really serious application, and the selection is really serious. Or if you are not accepted to the main stage, you can always make a pop-up exhibition. Or it's becoming really festival, so you can find another artist to rent a small place to put your container and to make your own show around it. So that's the pleasure of Rencontre Photographique of Arles. There are more stages like that in London and in the US. That's what I know, like Photo London. Or around some in London there are many art fairs and many festivals, so you can apply for them. But when it depends what you want actually at the end. If you want just to show your works, that's one thing, and if you want to be more specially selected and curated, maybe you should be more specific and just not spread all your energy, but to make one show. Well, one show a year is not enough, I can tell you. You should have more to call yourself an established or establishing artist. But if you have like 2-3 art shows a year, that's really good. Especially a very good, selected, mentioned by press in art fairs. So usually that's what we as a gallery, what we are working. So we have 7 represented artists and a few guest artists, and we make show with each of them at least twice, 3 times a year, plus the artists do independently shows and independent works. So, even though you can be represented by a gallery, it's still a lot of work yourself that you need to do, that you need yourself to develop, and it's your career, it's your life. Gallery, we have our own interests. Like I'm thinking how to develop experience of the gallery. Not just only to come to the gallery to see the show, to have some wine, talk with me or with Martina and then leave, but how really to create the experience of the gallery. So in September, we're opening, the 5-6 September, we're opening the new season, just after Corona. The first weekend of September, all the galleries of Rotterdam going to open its doors. It's going to be Rotterdam Art Weekend. And that's what we start together with all central galleries of Rotterdam. And by 5-6 September for this summer, I put myself a challenge how to create this gallery experience, how to experience differently the gallery and what it actually means gallery artists works together. Not only curatorial shows, not only complicated artworks, but also how you as a viewer experience, how you perceive the gallery and how you're changing your point of view to external world. So that's actually what is my challenge, and that's what I really want to achieve as a gallery director. Now we started to work with a gallery viewer, so check our profile. It's very interesting platforms, despite if we are there or not. There's a lot of nice curators, a lot of Dutch galleries. So if you're looking for the gallery to be represented in the Netherlands or around the world, that's probably you can go to such online platforms and to see what kind of galleries, what they are showing, what are the artists have and what you are missing. So just to comparing yourself with artists they represent, you can gain more muscles of what you need to gain plus. So I think for this Sunday live, I'm coming to an end. Speaking about next Sunday live, we are going to the next week. We are going to announce the winner of first photo contest for the subject metamorphosis. So I think I'm going to be together with Martina on the video. It's going to be much more few surprises for you, so just follow us next weekend. And we are also announcing the new subject soon for the second stage of rock contest. It's going to be only 4 this year. So 1 is done, so it remains 3 for you to participate. Each period of participation is 2 months, so it's up to you. So yeah, I think I said mostly everything. Thank you for following, coming to the gallery. Now we are opening by appointment and every Saturday 1 to 4 because of Corona. But if you want to visit any other day except of Saturday, just feel free to write to us to Facebook, YouTube, Messenger, emails, website chat. So just feel free to write us. We can open you the doors and you can visit the gallery, talk with us. So thank you for your attention. Have a very safe time because Corona is still here. And enjoy your time and really wish you a very creative moment. Bye-bye.